Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel when I'm not opening advent boxes. In case you have missed it, I am doing a whole Adventures with Noelle series where we are opening 6 different advent boxes day by day. So that video always posts at 8 a.m. Pacific all the way from December 1st through the 24th, of course. So I hope that you will join me for that because there is going to be a little quiz where you'll have the opportunity to win a mystery box with some items from those advent boxes. And of course, there's always our secret password giveaways in the regular unboxing videos like this one, where when you come across a secret password, you want to enter it with your contact information, and then you're entered to win a mystery box. Those are happening year-round, once a month, and there's usually several different mystery boxes that I will be sending out to you. Today, I'm very happy to say that I am almost caught up with my Once Upon a Book Club subscription, which I put on hold towards the beginning of this year when I realized that the book boxes were just really piling up. So I only have one more of these pink boxes to go. It's actually one that was sent to me for review, or actually to thank me for being one of their VIP ambassadors who occasionally reviews boxes, meaning I do have a referral code for you, which I'll tell you about in just a second. I wasn't able to get in on their New Year's Eve limited edition box this year. They sold out super quick, so I'm really glad that I selected the one from last year as my free appreciation gift from them. So that's the other one that I'll have to share with you, hopefully before the end of the year, maybe even on New Year's Eve. And if you read it last year with Once Upon a Book Club, then you'll probably enjoy the unboxing, a little flashback, and you guys can tell me if you happen to get in on the one for this year. So this one, I believe, when I put my subscription on hold for a while, was the February box from this year. It is, of course, the adult selection, although it kind of had some like young adult sort of vibes to me, in all honesty. This subscription for Once Upon a Book Club is $49.99 per month. That does include the shipping, and that code that I was mentioning for you is just Noelle10. That'll save you 10%, and I will leave an affiliate link for you in the description box below. It's not really an affiliate link, it's more of a referral link because I will get a little bit of credit if you happen to use it, and I so appreciate those of you who do happen to use my referral links and codes. So let's get into this one. It was not sent to me for a review, but I'll always let you know when it was, or you can always check the description box below. So if you're unfamiliar with Once Upon a Book Club, they send out a fun book for you to read each month. It's everyone gets the same one. They do release some hints, some spoilers. Now I just kind of let this one go instead of really paying attention. And now as I move forward, I will probably pay attention because sometimes the themes or the writing or the style isn't really my taste. I really like historical fiction. I occasionally like some romance and chick lit. Not that often, but I do really like more like thrillers. So that's probably what I'm going to stick with, contemporary fiction with more adult themes. This one was cute, but not really my style, in all honesty. So now, one thing that I do think has been kind of cool is they've been including books that have co-writers, which I didn't realize was such a thing, but I guess it is. It's very common these days. So the book was The Roughest Draft, which was written by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. All those names, you guys, and they're actually married, so it would be hard for them to go ahead and hyphenate their last names because they'd have 3 of them. But let me go ahead and read the back to you. And if you've already read the book, then you might want to go ahead and just watch and see the gifts that Once Upon a Book Club included to go along with it to bring the story to life. I'll also show you all of the other kind of swag that they included as well. Again, totally not quite my cup of tea, this book, but it was a quick read. It was very cute. You know, you can kind of tell just from the cover that it was like sort of sweet. Although this particular like scene of like 2 people working on a book, because it was very meta in terms of them being co-writers, and then there were co-writers in the book. I don't remember this scene happening where they were both writing at opposite ends of the pool, but I think it was just sort of supposed to be because they decided to rent a house essentially in Florida, so it's supposed to have some tropical vacation-y vibes, I guess. But personally, I did kind of read through the book pretty fast. Don't remember the scene at all. So says they were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole that turned their lives upside down. All right, 3 years ago, Katrina Freeling and Nathan Van Huysen were the brightest literary stars on the horizon. Their co-written book topping bestseller lists. But on the heels of their greatest success, they ended their partnership on bad terms for reasons neither would divulge to the public. They haven't spoken since and never plan to, except they have one final book due on contract. Facing a crossroads in their personal and professional lives, they're forced to reunite. The last thing they ever thought they'd do again is hole up in the tiny Florida town where they wrote their previous book, trying to finish a new manuscript quickly and painlessly. Working through the reasons they've hated each other for the past 3 years isn't easy, especially not while writing a romantic novel, because that is, of course, what they are known for. It says, while passion and prose push them together in the Florida heat, Katrina and Nathan will learn that relationships, like writing, sometimes take a few rough drafts before they get it right. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think it has a happy ending where they wind up together and resolve all the issues and write a fantastic book where it's to much critical acclaim? If that's what you thought, if you thought it just had that saccharine ending, you are correct. It totally did. But, you know, I did enjoy the journey, even though the ending was sort of predictable in that way. All right, so here are the other things that are included in the book box. We get our book club kit, and this is where it tells us, they tell us in the hint that's published or emailed to you the month before, but it was called Write Your Own Story, because again, it's about 2 co-authors. And then inside, we have a conversation with Christine Pride and Joe Piazza, who, of course, are writing the book, which is interesting to me because it's Emily and Austin, and then here they had mistaken and put the authors from the last co-written novel that we had, because at first I was like, what are you talking about? I am so confused. So yes, it's the names that I said, Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca, not Christine Pride and Joe Piazza. That was from the last book. All right, so it did think it was kind of interesting to read that. It says, what do you hope readers take away from reading the reference draft? How inescapably personal any creative endeavor is, whether it's writing or cooking or music or design. There's no avoiding the pieces of our soul we invest in any creative work. It's also a story about how sometimes success is as fragile and frightening as failure, and how second chances can find us despite feeling impossible. So very sweet in their responses here as well. I have to admit, I think it's just because I'm sort of a dark humor, like sarcastic human, but even the like romantic bits, like they just kind of felt like cheesy lines to me, and I know it was supposed to be more authentic, and I can't do it. Like, I guess I can't just do romances these days. I like old romances, you know, like, you know, back in the day, like, you know, hidden looks at one another, but I don't know. It's just, and then the like sex scenes like also make me like super uncomfortable. Maybe I'm just a prude. We also have discussion questions in case you are doing an actual book club. By the way, you guys, we are going to do our own book club in the Nobot Nook, which is our private Facebook group. So if you're interested in that, we are in the process. We're about to select our book title, which is going to be very, very exciting. So if you want to join in, you're going to want to be able to be voting for that. They also have read-along dates. I've never done that before. And then on the back page, they usually have sort of an activity or like an extra little like infographic. And this time it's write your own story, plot it out. So, it says plot out your story, combining your characters' desires, their internal and external conflicts, and merge them together. Start with the main, beginning, middle, and end points. This is the overall evolution your character makes. How did they get from here to there? So there's 3 different sections: characters' initial desire, characters confront crisis, characters change in the end. So straight out of like a creative writing workshop, which you guys, I did a lot of creative writing workshops, but early on I tried to apply to creative writing workshops for fiction because I thought I was going to be a short story writer and then a novelist, and I realized that I was better at poetry, or at least that's the workshops that I managed to get in with my written works, and then that is the creative writing path that I pursued. By the way, you guys, if you are interested in creative writing, whether you consider yourself a writer or you just aspire to be a writer, check out the new box that I just opened a few days ago called Promptly. It is perfect for anyone who wants to start putting their ideas to paper and creating these plots and these characters, which I know a lot of us sort of fantasize about doing that. So you don't have to show your work to anyone, but there's definitely a lot of rewards if you do. So we also got a signed bookplate with Emily and Austin, which is great. Very, very quickly, hastily written. We got our little quote bookmark that says, "There's no truth to these pages, but the trick of fiction is to make you think there is. I let myself fall for it as often as I can," because the female in the book is a voracious reader. She loves reading. And then of course we have our little 5x7 quote print, which is something that is always in Once Upon a Book Club boxes. I know people like to collect them. And then on the back we do have a letter from the authors, which is kind of cool. So it says, writing a book with someone is a lot like loving someone. It's wonderful, exhilarating, deeply fulfilling, but it's nerve-wracking too. In the ways intimacy is. It takes trust. It requires faith. It demands knowing how to fight, then to forgive. It's these fundamental similarities we wanted to bring to the page in the roughest draft. We're married co-writers of 4 previous novels, but this is our most personal by far. The story of how Katrina and Nathan find their way to each other by rediscovering themselves in their writing process. Writing this love story together was joyous in so many ways, shaping these characters' journeys with years of shared experiences, shared struggles overcome, even shared jokes. But could be intense too, for reasons we wove into the couple's unresolved feelings. How much of your soul do you put into your writing? Sometimes prose comes too close for comfort to our deepest hopes, fears, dreams, or desires, especially when co-writing with someone you have feelings for. Literary efforts start to read like love letters or chapters like confessions. The hardest part of writing this book was unpacking our own relationship while rendering Nathan and Katrina finding their way to theirs. It says, the result is this book we're proudest of, the one you now hold. We're very, very excited to invite you into the roughest draft where the lines separating life from fiction melt in the Florida heat. We hope you enjoyed the read, ENA. So very cute little note. There were, I believe, 4 gifts this time around. Honestly, I've been sitting in a lot of doctor's offices with my mom, so I've been kind of reading this on the go, so I don't always open the gifts like right on time, but here we go. So there were 4. They kind of all came sort of in the beginning, I felt like. The first one was on page 16. So Katrina is engaged to her publicist, basically, or her editor. Publicist, and she has gone to a bookstore where she's decided she's not going to write anymore, and she sees the book that's out by her former co-author who she had the big rift with. So she's talking about her husband Chris, or her fiance Chris. He comes out of the kitchen carrying his coffee and sits on the couch, hardly glancing up. Where were you? He asks. I hold up the bookstore bag. I went to Forwards. When did you get home? Chris doesn't work from home very often. Every chance he gets, he's in the office or writing the endless carousel of networking with editors and authors. So this is what it looks like when the little sticky comes at the bottom of a page. So we got page 16 right here, you guys. Just a simple mailer bag. That I don't mind when they print it right on there. You guys know I don't like it when they print it on the actual boxes that are very lovely. We actually got this very nice little tote, which is cute. So it says, it has a Jane Austen quote. See, that's the kind of romances I like. It says, obstinate, headstrong girl, Jane Austen, on this little canvas pocket. Now it is faux leather. I'm not a huge fan of faux leather straps just because I feel like they break down. And even though the faux leather accents are meant to make the bag look a little bit more sophisticated, I feel like it makes it look less expensive. But I love the design of it, like these little details right here on the pocket I thought were really cool. It's a nice heavy canvas, which I really appreciated as well. And then what's nice is those little spots are actually to allow you to use a longer strap, which was also included. So I think those must they must unsnap, or you must be able to use this strap in some way. So yeah, they have really like thin little clasps that you can loop through these little leather bits, I'm guessing. Or no, that's it. Those are just accents. They actually have on opposite sides. That's smart. These little rings so that you can do a shoulder bag as well. I would have loved this if it had a real leather straps or slightly better faux leather straps or just canvas straps, in all honesty. Then I totally would have kept it because I like the design of it. I thought it was cute. In addition, we also got an extra book. Now, this is the book by her former co-author, Nathan Van Huysen, and it's called Refraction. Very dramatic. So they put a book cover on it, like a little jacket, and that's the book that she picked up from the bookstore, even though she already had it, but she was talking to the bookseller, and of course she felt like she had to. So of course it's not an actual book. They didn't create an actual book to go along with. It's just the jacket, which is fine. I don't mind, but we got a new book inside, which seems to be a nice addition. I'm guessing that maybe like this was one of the books that was up for consideration for Once Upon a Book Club, and they just decided to include it in here. Now, this is a little bit different. It doesn't really seem It doesn't really seem related. It's called Murder at Mauinoel Hall by Colleen Cambridge. So it's a mystery book. It sounds like it might be part of a series. I'm not even going to read the blurb to you. I don't mind getting extra books in book boxes, but somehow I feel like it should be more related. But it was kind of a cute idea. And again, I consider this sort of an extra gift because really the tote bag was the gift. And then we got this extra book, Nathan's book supposedly, as an extra. All right, so after page 19, we had 3 in kind of quick succession. The next one was on page 95. Let me see if I can find that. So, so they go in alternating voices in this book. It's a clever speech, one I have the feeling she's pre-written, crafting dialogue for herself the way she would for our characters. However, Katrina is nothing if not skillful. I have to concede, I'm intrigued. I sip my drink, Katrina's white flag of black coffee. Even over the scent, I can smell her hand cream. So Katrina has brought him some hand cream. They have decided to write a book together, and we get page 95, which came in this nice box, but unfortunately does have page 95 written on it. And of course, we got the hand cream, which is in coconut, which you could definitely smell. What I thought was interesting is they called it Fiction. It is wrapped in some shrink wrap that I'm not going to remove, but it is branded Once Upon a Book Club. So they must have white labeled this. I don't know that I like that necessarily because even though it has the ingredients on it, I think that's kind of cool. But at the same time, I'd rather have like more a well-known brand. I don't know. So I guess it's kind of cool. It's 2 fluid ounces and it will be a nice smelling hand cream, and hand creams are of course always appreciated. The next one was on page 145. Here is what this one looks like. So they finally go to a bookstore together, the one that she's already been in, and it says, "You probably introduced yourself to the bookseller," I explain. "They just pulled up your catalog." Oh, so Nathan's been to this one. She doesn't want to go in because, she's decided not to write anymore. "Yes." He leans on the steps, metal railing in no hurry. I notice in his pocket the leather pouch in which he carries his signing pens. I force patience into my voice. "They would have seen your back catalog, the 2 books you wrote with a co-author. If I walk in there right after you," I gesture for him to fill in what would happen. Something coy enters Nathan's eyes. It's playfulness with sharp edges like juggling knives. It's like she might recognize you. God forbid we'd have to sign some of our books together. So he's being a little sarcastic. She's just being shy and silly. Here is page 145. Of course, it's got books on the box. Again, beautiful, nice, like gift box, but I just wish it didn't have the page number on it because if I want to re-gift this to someone else, it seems sort of obvious that it's coming from a book subscription box and I haven't given them the whole box. That's just my personal opinion. And even in the details, you guys, inside, they have like writing. I think that's really like beautiful. They spend a lot of money, I feel like, designing and creating these boxes, and I just wish I could reuse them more easily. All right. So we got a little pencil case. I don't think it's the kind that Nathan would use with the rose gold. I'm not super fond of the Once Upon a Book Club branding. I mean, it's pretty subtle because you'd have to know what OUABC stands for. I do, so it would hit my eyes immediately. It's a little bit rosier than it's showing on screen. It's showing as kind of tan, but pretty nice. It's got a nice zipper, and I appreciated the shape. This is a pretty good faux leather, especially in this kind of small quantity. It does have a little bit of a liner, so you can actually use your pens. And they provided us with 3 pens, which I did think was a nice touch. They each came in their own plastic. They have like script on them. They're really pretty. Again, I don't feel like Nathan would have this as his book signing set. I didn't even know that was a thing, that like authors carried special pens that they like to sign their books with. Although I could totally see myself doing that. I would have special pens that I would like to write on because I would know the paper, I would know how my signature looks with certain pens. So I think they're just simple ballpoint pens, but they are very pretty. They have a nice weight to them. So they kind of like spin in place to snap closed. So I thought that was cool. And of course it does match the cover of the book, which was a little detail that I thought was lovely. And then our final gift was on page 160. So again, 160 comes here, and then we had all this rest of the book. So it kind of came a little early, I felt like. So let's see. No, I think to myself, I won't give him that satisfaction. I shove my bookmark carelessly into the pages of the book I wasn't reading. Upstairs, I hear the hiss of Nathan's shower. When the images come to my mind of him undressing, stepping into the steam, I let them. I don't care if he smirks or plies me with glib questions. I'm right. This is only the fevered product of our writing, transference. It'll fade. So, yep. Things are starting to get spicy. She's imagining him in the shower. Here is a really cute box with a little pineapple. Again, wish it didn't have that page number on it. They could just do stickies just like they do in the book. Of course, this is going to be impossible for me to open. And of course, we got pretty expected a bookmark. Let me see if I can open this up. It did come in a little baggie. It's very pretty. It says read between the lines with this lovely tassel. Now, I don't usually like these thicker bookmarks because I feel like they can kind of put dents in the pages, but it is pretty. And again, it does kind of go along with the whole Miami or Florida like theme of the book, which I didn't get like that much of that because they were kind of holed up in the house the whole time, except when they go to Miami to go to a nightclub. But it's a lovely bookmark and it made sense as a gift. You guys let me know what you thought about it. If you've read the book, let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite gift was. I thought the pencil case with the pens was really great. Would have loved the tote if it had different straps. And honestly, the lotion is pretty cool as well. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, help me out with a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon in my next unboxing.